Okay, darning a point shoe. We have the point shoe and the tip has to be darned. So it's a good idea to get a pencil. Go from the back and the creases that you feel will cover, which is there where my fingernails are, going up. So I've used the pencil to go from there and I continue it in a curve around from this third one around. So I will follow that, knowing that that will be my shape that I'm darning in there. Now, to know where to stop, place the point shoe on the surface and mark it in the middle, which is there. Then you know you'll continue that curve to go around to that dot, and not making sure you don't go too high so that when they're standing on point, that darning, very little will be seen. So we have it marked out. Good idea to have a rubber tip on the finger that you're pushing through a lot. So I've cut off a rubber glove and I've put that there. The darning needle needs to have quite a good eye so that you can thread the cotton through, which is, you can see the thickness of the cotton. You get it in a ball like that. Craft, crochet, knitting, cotton, 4-ply. And now you can use single thread if you want to spend time to be really fine. I have doubled the thread and just put a knot in the end. Don't worry about knots. They can all be covered up or cut off at the very end. So holding the point shoe with the front, let me just get this right, the front of the point shoe towards you. The back is in your hand. Start at a point on the side that will more or less make a straight line across, but of course it'll be slightly curved. Take the satin and bring the needle through, and you take over to the other side to the same equivalent on the other side, pick up the satin and pull through. Now you have a straight line across. Do not make it tight, relax it so that it will go in the shape of the curve. Then, these are called like a blanket stitch. So you are putting your needle in away from you. So I've put the cotton around, I go under the cotton line, pull it through, and there is a loop, and don't make it too tight. First loop. Continue on quite close together, not too far apart and not big stitches, as much as possible. So we're going to continue across and try to keep the curve of the shoe. Under again, you're going through the satin as well, and sometimes the satin can be very tight and it will take a little bit longer depending on how the point shoe is and what style the paste can make it sometimes. Now this rubber finger is helping me not get a hole in my finger and gives me a good push with the needle. So all the time, just keep pushing that line back up into a curved. So I'm going under the line, and through the satin. Now note, I have not got the cotton on this side because that will not make a loop. It is under the needle and I pull it through. Another blanket stitch. Hold the cotton back. Continue on. Bear with me while I go. Hopefully, sometimes it'll get caught on that knot. Those knots will disappear. And the next line, don't worry about it not being so even. The next line will even everything out. Go under. Another one. Under and through. Another one. Under. And this, of course, is a little bit big for me because I couldn't find a glove tonight. That was the right size. They're all Trevor's size. And because he does all the dishes in the house, not Karen. And now there's my knot. And I'm just going to actually make a stitch over the top of that because then it'll be cut off later. It's a bit hard there. So, my final blanket stitch. Now, of course, that looks a bit not even, not wonky. Doesn't matter. It will work its way out as I go along. So, my pencil marks on the side there. Of course, each time you're going to add a stitch on to the end for quite a while until you get to the drop down where it decreases. So I put my going in, not out to the shoe. I'm going to grab the satin there. And that's finished. This is the start. So I go a little bit further out and across. There's my second line. And of course, if I pull it tight, that's a long way away. Loosen it up. Just push it towards there. And once again, just, there's a lot of twists in. Sometimes just straighten it out. So, the first one, of course, is a new stitch right on the end. So it's exactly as what you've done before. Just go under the satin, in there. Of course, it's on this side. You can tell when you're pulling it, there's going to be a loop there. First stitch. Now, of course, the second stitch, I'm going into the hole of that first loop and then under and into the satin. So I've got a guide now for the rest of the shoe. I've got another hole to go in there under the satin